Okay, I'm going to make sure everyone is muted real quick, except for Heather. I think we're good. Okay, you guys. So Heather and I met actually in an Emerald thread. So we've been friends for a year, but we actually met the first time in the Bahamas face to face. So was super excited that she's going to share with us tonight. You guys, she is a rock star. She is incredible at expanding her network and just gaining large momentum with customers and ambassadors. And so she's going to share a lot of tips with you tonight. And then she'll also do a question and answer. If you guys have questions, be sure to put them up in the chat, or you can unmute yourself when she's kind of done giving us an awesome little training. But Heather, I'll let you go ahead and get started if you want to tell a little bit about your story. Julianne, you lost sound. Can anybody else hear me?
I got you. I can hear you.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you good. Okay, perfect. I'll mute myself. Thanks, Heather.
Yes. Okay, so thanks for having me on the call. I always feel honored when I get asked to do these calls. So I want to tell you a little bit about myself. I am from Iowa, Northwest Iowa, little tiny town. I want to say maybe 900. I'm a farm girl. I live out on the farm. And when I started Plexus, I had 400 friends on Facebook. When I started Plexus, I never would have been doing Zoom calls and showing my face on a video recorder in front of people that I did not know. So Plexus has definitely changed me that way. The reason I started Plexus is I owned a flower shop and a boutique prior to starting, and I fell carrying like a great big 50-pound heavyweight plant, and I hurt my back. And I had to have 3 back surgeries within 6 months. And I ended up selling my flower shop and my boutique because small town, couldn't afford to pay somebody to run the business, and was losing money just from doing that. And so I started the products after my 3rd back surgery in the hospital. We didn't have any, we were very not financially well off because having been working, the flower shop boutique was our source of income. And I kind of had to make that decision. Like, do I spend $133.95 on something that I think might help me? And I'll be honest, the only reason I did it was because my friend kept bugging me, and I was going to prove her wrong and get my money back. So I joined, and 2 weeks into my journey, I went back for my 2-week checkup. And mind you, I have like 28 rods, screws, pins, everything in my back. And I went back at 2 weeks, and my doctor told me that I had healed to the point of where most people were after a couple months. And he accredited it to the fact that I was taking the Slim and the Ease and getting the inflammation out of my body. So that's kind of my backstory. I started sharing just a little bit on Facebook, kind of dabbling in it. And I joined in November 2014. I got my very first customer on New Year's Eve night, which is kind of crazy, but I was home because I'd had so many surgeries. I couldn't walk very well even without a walker. And I got my first customer, and that's when I kind of decided that I wanted to try this business. And so I've just really put myself out there. I've gotten outside of my comfort zone, and I have just developed relationships, grown network-wise. I just constantly am friending people in groups, growing, sharing, everything else. And one of my favorite tips to give people when they're just starting Plexus or wherever they are in their journey is, people always say to me, I don't want to share until I have a story. And I say to them this: if you are sitting at your kid's basketball game and your friend said to you, I've got a headache, if you had Tylenol in your pocket or in your purse, would you offer them Tylenol to help their headache? Probably, right? So why is it any different when your friend is saying to you, I've got a stomach ache, I've got headaches, I've got pain, I've got this, I want to lose a few pounds, I'm constipated. Think of Plexus as that Tylenol that you're offering. Just simply offer to them and share with them about how the products can help them. Don't sell it to them, just share it with them, how they can help them. You guys, I love questions, so be sure to ask me questions because I like to go off questions. I'm just throwing that out there. Another thing I want to share with you guys is so many times we get caught in the spotlight of, well, I'm not destined for success. I can't do this. It's probably not me. Well, I am here to tell you that it can be you because I live in a little town. I do not have a college education. I got pregnant in high school. I had my family super young. Everything that could be against me, I've had it, okay? And I made it to be an Emerald ambassador with Plexus. I have made Plexus my success in life. So wherever your roadblock is, whatever in your mind is telling you that you can't, I promise you that you can. But I also promise you that you cannot do it until you get the cannot out of your brain. You have to keep telling yourself you can. Every single day, you have to tell yourself you can. Another thing that I like to tell people, I have 3 major tips. 1 is get outside your comfort zone. 2 is anybody can do it. And my 3rd biggest tip that I always tell people is do not quit. Whenever you feel your business is stagnant, continue to follow up. Follow up, follow up, follow up. You plant your seeds. I don't know how many of you are in the farming community or have been around farmers, but think of it like the farming community. A farmer plants his seeds in May, and he waters them, he grows them, he cultivates them, and he might not reap those benefits until the very next fall, October, November. So think of it like that. Just continue to water your seed. The grass isn't greener on the other side of the fence. The grass will grow where you water it. The grass will grow where you continue to take care of it, to just put all your self-care in it. So don't give up on people. Continue to follow up and just keep pushing and pushing and pushing. Terry, do you want me to talk about how I kind of do my networking on? Okay.
Yes, please.
So I am a huge garage sale person. I said it. I post in garage sales all over. Marketplace on Facebook, garage sales, everywhere. I usually make a cute little graphic. Sometimes I put my before and after in it. I always list different health conditions. Maybe a weight loss picture. I just make a cute little graphic. And then I usually put words in the graph or words in my post that say, I'm looking for 5 people who want to jumpstart their health. Send me a message. Of course, you're going to get hateful people on there. I'm not going to lie, you do. But that is how I've connected with every single person. I would say 90% of my business has grown from doing that exact same thing. So I try to post in those at least 10 times a night. I don't just limit myself to garage sales in my area. I go Canada, I go all the states. Anywhere I can find a garage sale group, I join it. And I put them in alphabetical order on my phone. So every night I go and I'll do letter A, letter B, letter C, whatever letter I'm on. And I go and I post in there. not only do I post in there, but I kind of scroll through the group, and I kind of try to find people that maybe it looks like I would connect with, maybe a mom with kids, maybe somebody who would want to work from home, and I friend them. So yes, I'm the crazy lady that sends out random friend requests. I'm the crazy lady who posts in the garage sales. And then if people like my comment, or if they comment on my comment, or if they message me, I always get back to them, and I always message them. Like, if they comment something on my comment, I'll message them and say, hey, thanks for commenting on my posts in the garage sale site. Hope you're having a good weekend. Have you ever heard of or tried Plexus? That's it. I end with a question, always end with a question, so they have a reason to say yes or no. And then as soon as, if they say no, we're gonna go on the fact that they don't know about Plexus. So they say no, and I say, great, I would love to share with you. Plexus is an all-natural, plant-based product. We focus on gut health, weight loss, and skincare. Do you have any health concerns? Again, I ended it with a question. And I know that those sound very like repetitious, but that's all I do. And then, you know, after those first two interactions, those first two questions, then I kind of have to take it by person. You know, they message me, they have thyroid issues, they have acne, whatever it is. I try to find them a testimony. I friend them, and I also add them to my team's testimony page. Do you guys have a testimony page? Terry? Yes. Okay. So I get them in that testimony page, and 9 times out of 10, I'll even go to that testimony page and I'll search the testimony. I'll say they had high blood pressure. I'll search the testimony for high blood pressure, or the testimony page for high blood pressure, and then I'll tag them in a post. Or say they have thyroid issues. I search thyroid issues, and then I tag them in a post. Maybe 2, 3 posts, whatever I kind of feel that they won't feel that I'm spammy with. And then I tag them, and I wait about 30 minutes, and then I message and follow up, and I say, hey, I tagged you in a few posts. Were you able to find them or click on them? If they tell me yes, then I ask them what they thought of the information they read. If they tell me no, then I'll say, well, did you get the notification? Sometimes I screenshot the testimony. I'm very big on sharing testimonies because I feel like stories are what people want to know. We can tell them all about the probiotic and the scientific ways it works and everything, all of the products, but I feel like they want to hear the story. They want to know that it's helped people. So I'm big on sharing testimonies. Okay, so now I've messaged them, I've friended them, I've added them to the page. The next thing I do is I put them in my trusty little notebook. You guys, I've gone through a lot of notebooks with Plexus, but I put their name in that notebook because I try to circulate through that notebook once a month and continue to follow up, share a testimony, get back in touch with them, something, just so that they don't get lost in the messenger space. You know how messages get lost, and I don't want them to get lost. Sometimes I write a little note next to them or whatever, but you know, I'm just big on circling back through and following up. You would not believe the people who told me no, not something I'm interested in. I've tried everything. I don't want to try your stuff. You would not believe the people who, after you circle back through them and share enough with them and let them know that you care, that they will order, or they'll start asking questions, or they'll refer you, or something. Okay, there's that way of networking. I also go to groups like, trying to think of one. Okay, so I'm in a lot of back pain groups because that kind of explains me, I have a lot to share with people. I go into those groups and I just find people who maybe want to hear my story, want to know how they could help, people who are tired of maybe living on pain medications and not feeling well, who want to hear what natural products can do for them. That is the other way I network out. The last thing that I do is I'm a huge cold messenger. I know there's wishy-washy on that, but I am a big cold messenger. And I go back and forth with what different messages I send because it's hard. I mean, I keep getting new friends. So I send this message. Hey girl, I'm sure you have seen all of my Plexus posts. Can you tell me, have you ever heard of or tried Plexus? And I can't take the credit for that one because it's circulated through Plexus a few times. Maybe you all have heard it, but it works. It works. Because when you get those 3 sentences or 2 sentences from somebody, you kind of want to respond yes or no, right? Because I just asked you a direct question. So that's my cold message. Questions? Kind of feel like I'm just rambling.
I love listening to how you are telling everybody exactly what you do. I think sometimes we just need to be told exactly how to do things, and you're giving exact step by step. And I love that. I do want to ask you, when you're connecting with those people in groups, say like your back pain groups or whatever, are you posting in there? Are you going in and just making relationships with people on the outside of that? What are you doing in your groups?
That's a really great question because so many of those groups are like, if you're just joining this group to be salesy, don't join. And so I do comment. For instance, a lot of people were talking about if there was anything natural for pain relief, and I started just talking about turmeric. I didn't talk about Plexus, I talked about turmeric because we have turmeric in our E's. So I kind of encourage you to kind of do some commenting in those groups first so that people don't just think that you're there to sell them something. However, the garage sale groups, I don't. And one thing that I'm going to mention in the garage sale groups, so when you go to post, it's going to say post for sale or start a discussion. Click on the start a discussion because then you don't have to post a price. I get that question a lot and I always leave that part out. But click on the start discussion because you kind of are starting a discussion and then you're not, otherwise it asks you for a price and your zip code and all that stuff. And that's not what we're there for. We're just there. But yeah, any other questions?
Does anybody have any questions? You can go ahead and unmute yourself if you do. If not, I'll ask away.
Yeah, I love questions, you guys. I want to know what you guys want to know,
I have a question.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on tonight, Heather. So when you're in the groups, some of them are like buy, sell, trade groups. Mm-hmm. Some of them are, does it matter what kind of garage sale group it is, or you just look for anything that's open to discussion and people trading and selling and things like that?
Yes. So I do. I go to any group. And so many times, this is another thing that I get a lot. People will message me and they'll be like, hey, I just listened to your call, but the group says not to post about direct sales or not to post about blah, blah, blah. I don't follow those rules. If I took the time to read all the rules of all of the groups, I would never get anything done but reading the rules. And here's what I figure. If they don't like my post, they can remove me from the group because there's like a million other ones out there that I can join. So I just post. I figure if I get removed from the group, then I wasn't supposed to, there was nobody in there for me to connect with anyway. So another thing that I will tell you is I have found that the groups that are bigger, like 5,000 or more, are harder groups to get interaction in than the groups that are a little bit smaller. That's something that I've just kind of discovered over the last few months. And I think it goes to the Facebook algorithm. I think the bigger groups, initially you think, oh, wow, I'm going to get my post out to so many people. But I honestly don't think that, I think that so many people are posting in there that it doesn't get seen as much. So I might kind of watch for a little bit smaller groups to post in.
Okay, perfect. Does anybody have any other questions about the groups? If not, I want to ask about how you work through the holidays and how you stay motivated during the holidays, what you're doing during the holidays to still continue to be successful instead of just, January is going to be big for us. And it's so easy for so many to we just want to sit back and go, I'll wait till January. But if we stop between now and January, like you said, we're not seeding and we're not farming. So how do you keep going during the holidays? What are some things that you do to make sure that you're increasing your momentum?
That's a great question. So kind of back to the farming thing. What if a farmer decided not to put his crops in because it was raining? Or if he decided not to put his crops in because it was the 4th of July and he just didn't want to work the weekend. It's kind of the same thing. I never stop messaging. I never stop reaching out because I know what January is going to be like. It'll be my 5th January. And I want people, when they're ready to make their New Year's resolutions, for my name to pop in their head. When they're thinking weight loss, when they're thinking gut health, when they're thinking whatever their New Year's resolution is, I want them to think, well, Heather messaged me about that a few weeks ago. So that's what fuels me to keep sending the messages this time of year. And, right now I present it like that. Like right now I'm presenting things like, what if you could replace one shake a day or one meal a day with a protein shake, and instead of gaining 10 pounds from Thanksgiving to Christmas, you drop 10 pounds or you maintain your weight. And, people are really receptive to that. They're kind of like, because 2 bags of lean is like $68 as a preferred customer, and that's doable to people. I know that selling somebody the $1.99 welcome pack is going to be a little bit harder this time of year because people are pinching their pennies. But if they think, oh, for $68, I can replace almost a month worth of my lunchtime meals, and then maybe I won't gain so much weight. Just kind of gauge your messages around what's going on and think about what would appeal to you. Like if somebody sent me that message, that would appeal to me because I would think $68 isn't so bad, So just keep sending those messages. Keep adding to your notebook. And even when you're not getting responses, I promise you, if people have read it, they thought about it. So that's kind of how I just keep pushing through. Plus, we do have the awesome Christmas cash right now that Plexus is doing. And so that's an incentive, for me, because $1,000 is a lot of money. That buys more than all of our Christmas presents. So I use that. But it's a harder sale. The $1.99 welcome pack is a harder sale. But one tip that I will tell you that I have found works with the $1.99 welcome packs is to present the savings versus the cost. Don't even mention the $1.99, mention the $80 off, $90 off, whatever it is. So for those of you going for the Christmas cash, which you all should be.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Because you've got big goals with the Christmas cash. You're multiple accounts you're wanting to earn it under. So
yes, I would like my husband, myself, and my son. So that's 30. I don't know that I'm going to get there, but I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to give up.
That's right. That's awesome. Does anybody have any other questions?
Oh, Heather, would you scare us? Yes, I will. you want me to screen share can I screen share?
Yeah, go for it.
Let me see here. You know what? I don't have it on my computer because I usually do it from my phone. So let me pull it up here. Nobody's in a hurry, right?
No, we're good.
Okay. So can you see that? Otherwise, I can send it to Terry Jo. Can you just see that kind of sort of that collage?
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So that's what I post. And I'm happy to share that. I mean, I can share her tons of them so y'all aren't sharing the same one. And then I just kind of put that little caption with it. Sometimes I put like a couple emojis or whatever, just to grab attention. So,
but you just say, I'm looking for 5 people who want to jumpstart your health.
Yeah. And you guys, I get hate messages. It's mainly from men. I mean, they message me and they're like, why don't you start with yourself, fatty, or whatever. Just have thick skin, because you know what? You're not going to change their life. So you didn't want to help them anyway. So, yes, I'll gladly share. I'll send Terry a bunch and she can post them in your team page. One thing to be careful of, I shared a bunch of mine with people before, and they shared it and it tagged me in every single one because it, Facebook recognizes. So just make sure that you click the untag button so it's not tagging people. Because I did it with Helen McFadden once. I was sharing her skin, her joy testimony, and it kept tagging her. And I was like, oh, I gotta go remove all those tags. So, because I do use other Plexus ambassadors in some of my graphics also. So that's my only, I don't mind if you tag me. I just, not everybody.
Yes, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. If anybody else doesn't have any other questions, we'll let her go. It's been 30 minutes, so.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for having me on. I love doing things in my pajamas, so.
That's the best. Thank you so much for hopping on and just taking time out of your evening. That is so sweet, and I just love everything that you shared with us. So,
and don't be afraid to message me if you have questions. I'll answer them. So, or if I can help guide you in any way. All right. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Heather. Bye. Thank you, Heather. Okay, so who is the Galaxy Tab? Who has Galaxy Tab? You want to let me know who that is so I can get your name in the drawing? Anybody? Let me see if I can unmute them real quick. I can't unmute them. I guess I'll put Galaxy Tab. Does anybody know who that is, Julianne or Jenny or Jenny?
It might be me. Do you see my name showing up, Yolanda?
No, I don't, Yolanda. Thank you. That's you. Perfect. Okay. So I'm going to draw for, I have all the names in this box. Thank you guys for hopping on. Okay. The first one is Beth Wilkinson. Yay! Okay. I feel like I need my Christmas music playing or something. It's so quiet. Okay. And the next one is, who is that? Nicole Benachek. Awesome. So these are your gifts right here.
Yay.
Right here. Not showing the name too long. Anyway, and so these will be getting in the mail to you. So it'll be a surprise when you have it. So congratulations. We have next Sunday, we have our Zoom at 8:30, you guys. But just a reminder, like I know it's the holidays and it does seem hard to keep working during this time, but it's so important, like she said, to continue to keep messaging and sharing. because when things come in January, when everybody is wanting to have their goals and whatnot, you want them to think of you first. They'll think of someone else if you're not in contact with them. The other thing to know is that Plexus had sent out that November 19th, they're going to have a beauty box basically being shared. We're going to have a surprise gift box being sent out, but it is moved to November 20th. So that's going to be on Tuesday. So be ready to message your people because that is going to be something incredible. I have no idea what it is, but it sounds like it'll be something really fun for us. So does anybody have any questions today? If not, we'll let y'all go. Okay, y'all. We will see you guys next Wednesday.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good night, you guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.